Are you implementing innovation or design thinking or lean processes in your organization? Then you might be interested to know there are 7 critical success factors. If these 7 factors are in place, then your implementation is going to go pretty smoothly. And if some of the factors are missing, then it might be hard for you to get innovation going in your organization or have it stick. So stay tuned and I'll share these 7 factors with you. So what are these 7 success factors that make a difference when you're trying to implement innovation? Well, the first one has to do with it being okay in your culture to iterate. Now, you may have heard this as okay to fail, and I don't like to use that terminology because it's not failure. And if you use the phrase okay to fail, that to me says that you haven't really made the shift to the new or innovative way of thinking. So I call it okay to iterate. But the idea is that in any of these innovation processes, you want to put an idea out and try it. And then if it doesn't work quite the way you want it, you change it, or maybe you pull it back and try a totally different idea. It's got to be okay in your organization, in your culture, to do this iterative process. If it's not okay, if that is seen as failure, then that will make it hard for you to implement innovation in your organization. So that's number 1. It has to be okay to iterate. Number 2 is the aha moment. So you can teach people how to do innovation, you can explain it to them, you can tell them the benefits, but each person has to have that moment where they experience it themselves, where they use the process and come up with an idea and work with the team and they realize, oh, this is really different. I just came up with a new idea. The team just came up with a great solution. And I don't know that we would have done that if we hadn't used this innovation process. They need that aha moment. So you have to engineer that so people get it. And that means you have to provide them with training and opportunities to try it out so that they have that aha moment. So that's number 2. People have to have that aha moment. Number 3 is autonomy. In order for innovation to succeed, the people, the teams need to feel that they have some control over how they do innovation, when they do it, what projects they use innovation techniques on. If they feel like they have some autonomy, they're going to also feel then a desire for mastery. They're going to want to do the innovation process. So that's why it's so important that they feel that they have some control over what they're doing. Number 4 is constraints. Most people think that if you want people to be creative, that you should take away all the constraints on them. But actually, the research on creativity shows that it's easier for people to be creative and to come up with more ideas and better ideas if there are a few constraints in place. So although you want to give your teams autonomy, you also do want to give them some parameters to work within. That'll actually make it easier for them. It'll make them more creative. Number 5 is top down and bottom up. So in order for innovation to succeed, you need a critical mass of people that have had that aha moment we talked about and have been trained in what innovation is and what the process is. And you need a certain critical mass at the top as well as down in the trenches. So if you've got an organization where it's some groups who are the workers and the doers who want to implement innovation, but no one at the top agrees, or very few people at the top are supportive of it, it's not going to work. And the reverse is true. If what you have is some people at the top who are saying, we are going to be innovative, we are going to do this, but the people who are doing the work and in the trenches, if they haven't been trained, if they don't have an aha moment, if they don't think it's a good idea, that's not going to work either. You need a certain critical mass both on top and on bottom if you want it to succeed. Number 6 is trust. All of these processes, innovation, lean, design thinking, all assume that there's going to be collaboration. But actually, if you're going to collaborate with other people, you have to trust the other people. So if you have a corporate culture where people don't trust each other, it's going to be really hard to do that collaboration. People are going to be hesitant to share their ideas because they're going to be afraid that they'll get shot down. And they're also not going to really be good at giving feedback when other people give their ideas. So you've got to foster a culture of communication and a culture of trust. And if you don't have a culture of trust, that's something you're going to have to work on if you want innovation to stick. Number 7 is to use innovation to figure out how to implement innovation. It always surprises me when I see organizations who are trying to figure out, how can we implement this innovation? How can we implement lean? How can we implement design thinking? And yet they don't use the techniques of innovation or lean or design thinking to do their planning. Maybe you have some of these success factors that you can check off and say, yeah, we're okay on that. And maybe you have others where, we better address that. So you're going to put together a plan of how to put these 7 factors into place, how to put innovation into place in the organization. We'll use an innovation process with your team to figure that out. Come up with some new ideas and new ways to do it, and you'll be much more successful. So there you have it. There's the 7 success factors if you're implementing innovation.